everyone and welcome to the KukieKnits channel. My name is Ira and I'm your host here. I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia, where it's a rather cloudy, chilly day, but I had some time off, so I figured, hey, why not take the time to record another episode of my podcast. This is my video podcast series. You're watching episode 25. Woo, which is a big occasion for me, and this is where I show you all the things I've been making. You guys have been here with me on this journey for 25 episodes now, and I am also available on Ravelry and Instagram as KukieKnits if you want to follow along on other channels or need to talk or want to talk to me about anything. I'm quite active on those channels. So like I said, this is episode 25. I think it's been a couple of months since the last time I filmed, and I have quite a few things to show you. I have started test knitting again, so many test knits, but let's see what I finished up first. So starting with my finished objects, the first thing that I made was this Tonight top by Lily Kate France, and I'll stand up and show you. This is knit in a quite special yarn. This is the Woolen Works Fingering Merino in the colorway Weird Barbie. So this was part of Chloe, she's the dyer behind Woolen Works from Melbourne, her Barbie collection, which I pre-ordered, has it been 2 years now that the Barbie movie came out? And it was a few months wait, and then I received this yarn. I've got another colorway from her in like a fluffy Sari Alpaca, but I was really happy to be able to knit with this. I'm not one for A, hand-dyed yarn, B, Superwash Merino, C, like yarns with a drop. I tend to just buy yarns I can get my hands on. I'm not one to sort of check when it's going to get released and look at the time and stuff. However, when I saw these colorways, oh, I love pink. And when Chloe announced that she was going to do the Barbie collection, she does really great pinks anyways, but I knew she was going to smash it, and she did. And this was my favorite color from the lot, Weird Barbie. It has little flecks of like blue, greens, oranges, browns, and with this like undertone of this, not the undertone, background of this really cool tone, hot, vibrant pink color. It's actually a lot brighter than it looks in the camera, but I think the camera struggles to catch it. So I chose this design because it is a classic top. I didn't want any texture or anything particular going on because the yarn clearly is enough of a show. And it's a little high neck, which I like. I had to really like cast off the edging for the collar in a huge needle size because my head is quite big, so that I could still get my head in, but I think I've managed to find the perfect balance because I don't think it's like flaring out too much, which is great. And I love the details on this. I love the fit of it. I really like Lily's patterns. If you're new here, I love her fit. And it has really nice details, including a double knitted, really clean looking like armhole. And it has some texture along the side here. But in this yarn, honestly, I could have skipped it and it would have been an even more fun knitting experience than a full stock in it. I love it. And luckily it's so bright and distracts you because it does that thing. I don't know if it's because it's superwash yarn or because it's like a thinner weight yarn. It does that thing where it kind of dips in between my boobs. Like I just want it to lie flat, but it really accentuates it. But I don't know if that's just a knitwear issue, like a knitted top issue on this, or maybe something that's slightly thicker or a tighter gauge wouldn't do that as much. But luckily, because it's so bright, I don't think you can even see the dip. It's just me that I can see the dip from up here. That was it. I'm really happy with this top. I would definitely knit this pattern again. It's such a classic wearable top. I would definitely knit it again. Lily did her initial release and sample in a hand dyed as well, like a rusty corally hand dyed, but she also did another version in black. Oh, it's so lovely and chic, so I'm thinking maybe a black. Yep, this is the Tonight top by Lily Kate France. And then the next thing I knit was a test knit, and it's the Alma vest by Susanna Kaartinen, which is this here. I've already worn it heaps, so I will pop a picture in so you can see it before it got really crumpled. And this pattern, I signed up for the test knit because Susanna she's a Finnish designer, but she's based in Australia, and I love supporting Australian designers. And B, more importantly, all this yarn is from Stash. I got quite a lot of it out of Stash, which I'm really happy about. So this, if you've been watching my podcast, you might recognize this as the same color combo that I had done for Colorwork jumper for my friend, and this is the leftovers from it. The pink is, they're both discontinued yarns. The pink is Bendigo Woolen Mills Alpine, which in the colorway Pink Heath, and then the gray, did I say brown? The gray is Rustic, Bendigo Woolen Mills Rustic in the color Misty. Yeah. So in the test knit, you had options to choose if you wanted to add bust darts, which I did. You can kind of see it right here along the edges. And so I like the top. In hindsight, I would have probably done a couple of things different. Firstly, I don't think I would have chosen the bust darts. I feel like it's given me almost too much room in the front, or maybe I just like my vest a little bit more snug fit. And the other reason is it's quite a full length top on me, and I wanted it a touch shorter. And I feel like adding the bust darts added a little bit of length to the front, which is kind of the point of them. But I don't know if I like it as long. So if I ever reknit it, maybe I'll skip the bust darts and just make the body a touch smaller. It's still very wearable, and actually for work, it's kind of nice to have something that's not cropped, even though I do wear like a button down underneath. But like, it's wearable, it's warm. I really like the subtle gray and pink color work. Loving it. And what did I do? Yeah, I accidentally inverted the main and contrast color in so the neckline and the bottom is done the correct way, and then the armholes I inverted the colors. But I feel like because it's such a subtle contrast, it's not really noticeable, which is great. I kind of left it. I'm quite a perfectionist, but this much, I was like, okay, I'm not redoing it. And the other thing is, even though I blocked it, the cast on still really curls up. It was a tubular cast on. I feel like maybe I'm a loose tubular cast on person. So maybe I should cast on with the needle size down. Maybe next time I have to do that cast on, I might try that. So the Alma vest, it's out already. This was a test knit, and Susanna has a few in this series. The original one, I think, was a cardigan, and then she has a kid's vest. This is the adult vest. Pretty sure she has a sock, maybe a cowl or a hat. So have a look at Susanna's Instagram. She is Sana & Co on Instagram, if you like this fun pattern. I really, really like it. So this is my Alma vest by Susanna. And then the next couple of things, I don't have it here because I made a vest and a couple of mittens for my sister. So the first thing I made was the Vakka vest, which is also by Susanna. I have knit this one before. It is from a Lina limited edition book. I think it is the second one I knit. So I think it's from the Nordic Knits book. Susanna has one design in each, one in the Finnish knits, one in the Nordic knits. I think the Vakka vest is from the Nordic knits. And it is, I'll pop a picture up. My sister hasn't sent me proper pictures of it yet. I usually always take pictures of my gift knits before I send it off. But there was a few things I had to send her, and I was like, finishing work, well, on time, but it's already dark by the time I finish work, which is so frustrating in winter. I know other places have it worse, but I hate when you get home, especially on a day that you finish early and it's still pitch black. Anyways, I didn't really get time to take pictures and I needed to send it, so I sent it. And she sent me a couple of pictures of her trying it on, so hopefully, even though it's not as much detail, I'll pop them in and also pop in any pictures I have of it. I've knit this before. I had also knit it as a test knit. This is originally designed for an 8-ply yarn on 4.5 millimeters, but I knit it with my, again, deep stash yarn. I'm getting some stash out of my stash. Deep stash yarn, I used 10-ply, so I used Knit Bakes Wool of the Andes in the colorway Lake Ice Heather, and it worked really well. And like I said, I knit it for my sister, and she happens to be about exactly the same size as me, so that was great, except she liked hers really cropped. All of her height is in her legs, and all of my height is in my torso. And it's quite funny. And the other thing I knit for her was some fingerless mittens, because last year when she moved to Australia, she came to stay with me. I had said to her, oh, I'm really, because I was in my vest phase. I was like, I'm loving wearing my fingerless mittens. I'm wearing vests. If you want, I'll make it for you. And she was like, no, I don't know if I'll wear them. And then of course, especially this winter, she's like, I'm freezing. I have nothing to wear in my office that is cozy. And I was like, so do you want a vest and some fingerless mittens when you're typing? And she was like, yes, please. So she's very happy with it. She's been wearing it heaps because it has the basket weave pattern in it. She's also doing that thing where she's wearing it inside out occasionally. So every time she's wearing it, I'm like, make sure it's the right way. She's happy with it. I love this pattern. It has a beautiful cable along the side with a split hem. Really lovely top vest. And I have just enough yarn to maybe squeeze out that similar size, quite cropped on me probably, vest for myself in gray, and I think I will, because my original one was in tan, and I think I could use another gray vest. I mean a gray vest. I don't have a gray vest. No, I don't. And then the next thing I sent for my sister was the cabled fingerless gloves by Kimberly Gintar. So for this one, she had requested for superwash yarn. My sister's really okay and will care for non-superwash yarn, which is great because I can use yarn out of my stash for her. I always have an issue when I need to make a gift knit and I don't have any superwash stash yarn. So I was looking at another yarn to knit the mittens with, and a completely different gauge as well. I think I was using maybe 4-ply. And then I was knitting on the Alma and I had heaps of this yarn left over. And I was like, oh, why don't I just knit her in this yarn? Completely forgetting the fact that it is non-superwash as well, Alpine. So I pretty much finished one mitten, and then I think I was knitting at work at lunch and my brain was like, ding, is it superwash though? Oh my god, it's so hard to find information. I looked online, I looked at Bendigo's old listing. I even called Bendigo being like, hi, because it has alpaca content. And the lady was like, oh, I can't find any particular information on it, but I think if it has alpaca, you should hand wash. And I was like, because my sister was saying basically, I'm happy to hand wash my jumpers, but for things like mittens where I need to wash them off and I would like to be able to pop in the machine. So, and I was doing more research, and bless people on Ravelry, some lady had uploaded it on Ravelry in her stash along with the picture of this on both sides with the wash instructions. And of course the first line was hand wash, and I was like, but it's a really fast knit. I think it took me 2 days to do one mitten. So I called my sister and I was like, blah blah blah, do you want me, like, I'm happy to knit you another pair in Superwash. And she said, yes, please. So I finished the pink pair, and my sister's best friend who lives in Melbourne was also complaining about the cold. So I asked my sister to ask her if she wants the pair of gloves, and she said yes. So then I made 2 sets of the cabled fingerless gloves. For my sister's set, I used Bendigo Woolen Mill's Whisper in the colorway Espresso. It was leftovers from a Superwash jumper I had knit for her, and she said, ooh, that's perfect. I can actually match it, and it's also in that really trendy at the moment cool tone chocolate brown. So she has jackets in that, she has other clothes in that, and she said that'll match, and she's very happy with it. So it didn't take too long at all. It has a really fun and simple, straightforward thumb gusset and thumb construction. Other than that little bit, honestly, where you like faffing about for maybe 4 rounds, that's it. Everything else was so straightforward. The cable's memorizable. Even I could memorize it. And it's originally knit in 4 millimeters in 8 ply DK weight yarn. However, it's a one size pattern. It's a free pattern, and the size of it was a bit bigger than I think it would have been like right for my sister or her friend's hands. So I sized down the needle to 3.75, and then the fit was great. Made sure I had a nice loose cast off around the fingers so she could still type. And she's very happy with it. Her friend is also very happy with it. I would really highly recommend this pattern if you're looking to do a fast fingerless mitten gift knit, or even for yourself. And this is the cabled fingerless gloves by Kimberly Gintar, and they still haven't sent me pictures in this either. And again, I didn't take pictures in it, so I apologize for the shoddy low quality pictures of gloves that I assume I'm slide showing here. And then the next finished object I had was another test knit, and this is the Homey Cardigan by my friend Vera Marcu. And this is knit in Cascade 220, and this yarn was provided to me for yarn support by Vera. She was planning to use it as a recommended yarn on her pattern. The colors, the purple is Mystic Purple, and then this is Sunflower. So I was originally going for a orange and purple vibes, but this color looks so orange online, and it arrived and it was yellow. So I have now the perfect cardigan to go watch the Sydney Kings basketball team, because I'm wearing their team colors. Or is it the Lakers that has purple and yellow? I know the Phoenix Suns has purple as well. You know, if I ever end up in America watching basketball. And I really enjoyed this knit. I enjoyed the process, the fun texture. I'll show you a close-up look. It was really fun to knit. I love how the cardigan waistband sits. I especially love like how it sits on this area. However, my gauge swatch lied to me, which is really irritating. So because it was going to be official yarn, I fully did a gauge swatch and stuff. Worked out great. Started knitting. It's smaller. I had aimed for a slightly bigger size. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's about 5 centimeters less on the width, and I really stretched it when I blocked it because I could see it wasn't the size I was getting. Even the armhole, I mean, it's a comfortable width. But if you look at Vera's original design, the look is quite different, and I love how it looks. I love this one too, but maybe I'll use the yarn that she's used. That might be less springy. She's used a Merino possum. Other than that, I'm happy with the cardigan. I think I'll probably be wearing it open because it's a bit too snug to close it, but I love how it looks. I mean, looks crazy with this shirt. But what else? Yeah, I really like the button band. I can see myself reknitting this actually. So this is the Homey Cardigan. It just got released last weekend in Bendigo. So it is available now for purchase. Vera has her own website now, and it's also available on Ravelry. I could not go to Bendigo this year, even though I had organized a group, semi-organized transport, organized accommodation, and then something came up that I could not get out of, and I was in denial for about 3 weeks that I wasn't actually going to Bendigo. However, by the time the weekend came up, the other stuff that I needed to do was important, so I was like, look, there's no way I could have gone. And it was really fun seeing everybody's purchases and stuff online. I'm waiting for everybody's podcast to come out. However, this means that I will have more money to spend at the Knitting Guild yarn festival market closer to the end of the year in Wyong, because I have been on a no buy to very low buy, mostly only for gifts, all year, and I was planning to spend a little bit and buy some purchases in Bendigo, but now I will buy it in the Knitting Guild market. Yarn, what's it called? Fibre Fest. So I'll have a few purchases there, and that's quite close to the end of the year, and then my year will be up for my low buy. Homey Cardigan, and then the last finished object is also a test knit. It is currently blocking and it's still damp, though that didn't stop me from putting it on and taking pictures, so I'll pop the pictures in. This is the Checkerplate tee by Lily Kate France. She has a Checkerplate top design out already, which has twisted stitches to get the crisscrossy pattern. But this is her summer version, and it's got lace, so it's got yarn overs to create the crisscrossy pattern. I test knit this. I literally just finished it. This is knit in also yarn from Stash Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the colorway Mandarin. I had not used this yarn before, and I really like it. I know a lot of people have issues with knitting plant-based yarn and silk. I know it's not plant-based, but it behaves similarly. However, I didn't mind it at all. Maybe because it was lace and you're always doing stuff and you don't really get into a flow. But it was fine. And I like how it feels on damp. Like, I'm sure it'll feel on nice dry too. I actually didn't even try this on once before I finished it, which is crazy. That's how much trust I put in Lily. I almost never gauge swatch for her patterns because we have very similar gauges, and I just almost blindly picked my size. I always pick size 3, though I did learn from one time before that if she's doing like a positive ease drop shoulder, I need to go one size down because it's way too dropped at the shoulders. My shoulders are narrower than my bust, so I should use my upper bust circumference. And like, I didn't even try it on. To see if it fit, if the yoke depth was fine, if the armhole was, it was perfect. And it was perfect. Perfect. The knitting experience. So I have learned previously that I am not the biggest fan of a full lace knit. I'm happy to know about the yoke, and then in the body, I always run out of steam. And this one was no exception. It's a very straightforward lace. I still could memorize the pattern. Something about in lace, I can't memorize the pattern. In cable, I can like kind of memorize the pattern, but I always second guess myself, so I end up looking at the chart anyways. And the other thing that was annoying for me on this was, it's not just on this, it's just a lace knitting thing where I like to use markers in between each repeat so that I'm not losing track or making an error and then not realizing it until rows later, because fixing that is a nightmare. I don't knit enough lace to be able to fix that, to be honest. So I use markers so that at the end of every single repeat, I know that I have you know, done the correct thing. But in lace knitting, occasionally there's bits where you need to move the marker back and forth. And I would find myself like knitting up to the row that I needed to move the marker like 1 stitch across, because the knit two together sort of overlaps that with the yarn over being on one side of the marker. So you have to slip the stitch, take the marker off, put the stitch back, knit two together, put the marker back, and then yarn over, and then do that on every single repeat. So I was knitting up to the row where you had to do that and then just leaving it for, you know, 4 or 5 days. Luckily, it's a long test knit period, so I did manage to finish it, and it didn't have sleeves. You knit to the yoke and then you just do the ribbing, and so it was just the body, and I kind of like finished it. I really had to focus on the end to finish it because I have another test knit in my works in progress that I need to get a move on. So other than that, I like the fit, love the color. Love Mandarin orange, actually. It's such a lovely color, and that's it. I can't wait for it to warm up a little bit so I can wear it. I like the length, I like the ease in it, I like the sleeve, I like the neckline, I like the fit. Super cute top. Probably won't make it again, but never say never. And that should be all of my finished knits. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 finished objects, but I knit 2 pairs of gloves, so technically 7. Not too bad. And then moving on to my acquisitions. Ignore the weird color combo going on, I got really cold. I have a few things in the works, and a couple of them are on a deadline. So beginning with my most recent cast on, I am making the Lytham sweater by Lily Kate France. This is going to be a very Lily Kate France heavy episode. I mean, I live a Lily Kate France heavy life. So this is the Lytham sweater. I have knit this before in a pale gray for like a one-off commission I did. Or pale lavender. This was quite early on in my knitting period, in my knitting life. And then the past couple of years, now that everyone's starting to get married, and I really enjoyed getting my like a couple of artist friends to paint me, gift me a painting for my wedding. So now whenever a female friend of mine is getting married, I knit them a sweater, and it's become a thing in my friend group. Some of my friends have chosen to pick the sweater, some have chosen to be surprised. So this one is for my friend who's getting married in August. She is also a knitter, but she has lots of different, she's a sporadic knitter, so she's been wanting this sweater forever since she saw the first one that I knit. And she was like, oh, I should knit it myself, but like if you're offering, and I was like, yeah, I'll knit it for you. So this is just where I am. I'm just on the lace for the first sleeve. She chose the pattern and she chose the yarn color, and I love this yarn. So this is Bendigo Woolen Mills Luxury 10 ply in the colorway Boysenberry, and I absolutely love this color. She picked a good one, and I think the lace is looking so fun and lovely in this color. This is 10 ply on 5mm needles. It's bottom up, so the sleeves and the body are bottom up. You do the lace at the beginning of the sleeve, and then the rest of it is pretty much stockinette. I'm a bit nervous because I remember the last one that I knit. I don't know why I knit on an 8 ply. So and then in the pattern it says to shorten the sleeves if you need, because the weight of it can lengthen the sleeves, and then because they're very wide, it can get too long and like really, you know, come down. And I think that might have happened with the first knit. Now with experience that I know that knitting it on 8 ply just because I get gauge doesn't mean that the fabric has the texture to hold it, especially in a superwash. So this time I'm using a 10 ply. This time I'm using the yarn is recommended, like I'm using the size of the yarn that's recommended with it. And the only bit I'm a bit nervous about is the sleeve. I'm definitely going to shorten it still because Bendigo Luxury is quite a dense yarn in my opinion. So it'll definitely, the sleeves will have weight. I'm going to shorten it a touch so that hopefully after a couple of wears it's at a perfect length. If it's not, too bad for my friend, because there's no universe in which I am fixing a bottom up stockinette knit. I'm not grafting any sleeves or nothing. So I'll try my best. This is due by the end of August. Wedding's in end of August. Should be doable, I think, once I'm past the lace. And the lace is not very, it's not like a super long shot. I've already done sort of the 2 repeats, and there's just like the tapering off section for the top here into stockinette and then a stockinette. Shouldn't be too long. The Lytham sweater by Lily Kate France. Take a shot every time I say Lily Kate France, cause my next knit is also a Lily Kate France knit. I had been looking for a good fitting, classic, simple 4-ply crew neck jumper for ages. And because I had this really special yarn that I got at Fibre Fest last year. So this yarn is Fibre Naturally, which is an alpaca farm, and they grow, I don't know if all their yarn is grown on their own alpacas. They might buy some yarn to bring in, but they also mill it. And this is Alpaca Allure, what am I reading? Yeah, Alpaca Allure Alpaca Silk Sari. Duh, rolls off the tongue. So it's the hot pink flecks are actually bits of sari silk blended in, and it's just so lovely. And the yarn is so soft. This is in 4-ply. I didn't buy this at Fibre Fest. I was thinking about buying it for Fibre Fest, but I got this for Christmas last year. And then Lily came out with the Knitty Committee top, and this also happens to be apparently a request that she's got from other knitter friends where they don't have a well-fitting set-in sleeve 4-ply knit, and that's why it's called the Knitty Committee, because she said like the committee got together and told her they wanted this pattern, and she delivered. So the original has this option of either the double ribbing collar feature or 2x2 rib. There's stuff in the pattern that you can make it into T, into a long sleeve, into a puff sleeve. That's one of those patterns. I will be making it into a 1x1, and the sleeves are quite like snug, and I don't think I'm going to do any decreases. Like, I want a little bit of room towards the end because it's alpaca. What if it's itchy? What if I want to wear a thin t-shirt underneath? And so I'm knitting the most basic stockinette jumper, 4-ply, 1x1. It is satin sleeves, which I'm happy about. They're my favorite fit. It's a Lily Kate pattern, so I will love it. And the sleeves will be just straight down stockinette into a regular 1x1 cuff, and it should end up with a very wearable yet fun jumper. And it's so soft. Oh, this yarn. I was planning to buy more yarn from this place in Bendigo. They do I think they do this in DK 8-ply as well as 4-ply, and they have one which has green sari silk spun in, and I was planning to buy a sweater or a cardigan quantity for a jumper. What am I saying? A sweater, cardigan quantity of yarn in the green spun silk alpaca at Bendigo. However, I didn't go. Yeah. But they do come to Fibre Fest, so I should be okay to buy it there. I will buy it there. That's one of my purchases for the year. This is on hold at the moment. I finished. Is there one skein of yarn that's got me this far? Yes. That's one skein of 4-ply that's got me this far. I've put the body on hold, and then I want to do the sleeves and the collar, and then finish the body up. I should have more than enough yarn. It's more for fit-wise, so I can gauge the length of the body that I want. However, other knits are on a deadline, so this one has been put aside for the moment. Maybe one evening I'll sit and pick up the stockinette sleeve, because I actually don't have any knitting to do when I'm out. So I haven't been taking any knitting to work on the train, which is crazy. A crazy statement. And then the next thing I'm making is a test knit. This is the Nephele sweater, and I'm testing it for Hanna Luebben. She is Herb Garden Knitwear. Hanna is a lovely, lovely knitter, and I am using a big fat ass cone. This is JC Rennie Super Soft Cashmere in the colorway Cherry Blossom, and it's a 4-ply yarn. However, it feels really, 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 really fine because it's got the oil in it and it's still really, really crispy. This test knit, the sweater, hopefully I've already put a picture of what it looks like. I'm so sorry, you literally can't see anything. Okay, this is where I am. I've done the neckline. It has a boat neckline here, and the cable design starts on the saddle shoulder, and I think it also continues down the body, and I've connected it front to back, and I'm pretty sure that's sort of where I'm stuck. Not stuck, where I've put it down. Yeah, I've just connected in the round. This is originally designed, so the test knit's ongoing. I think it finishes in September. It's a really long test knit because the whole thing is knit on 3mm needles. Hanna designed it in 2 Holst yarns. I'm pretty sure it's a lace weight alpaca and a fluffy yarn. So it's like a small gauge, really fluffy, light and breezy. I originally wanted to use the Bendigo Woolen Mills 4-ply rustic tweed that I bought. Could not get gauge to save my life. I was umming and ahhing about actually dropping out of the test knit because I didn't want to buy yarn for any project. But I remembered I had this cone and I faffed around and I got gauge, which is great. However, the boat neck is actually this little, it's like an I-cord across. And I sized down in my sizing because it's supposed to have like a massive, honestly, like 40 centimeters positive ease or something like that. I would never wear if it was that oversized. So I sized down a little bit. And then I'm on gauge. And the I-cord length is the length that it's supposed to be, but it's actually quite hard to get on. I have a huge head. There's oil in this, so it's not as stretchy. So I mean, I get it in, but I would literally have to wear like a piece of cloth or a plastic bag on my head to put this on because it's that snug on it so that I don't get makeup on it the way you have to do in high-end fancy stores. So I'm worried about the neckline once I'm finished after blocking, if it's still that snug. I'm just assuming blocking will fix it, but I have a feeling my combination of a huge head, a different yarn, and me downsizing the fit of it, sizing down might mess this up a little bit. So I've already told my sister. I showed her the pattern and she likes it. So I was like, look, if it doesn't fit me, because it's 3mm, I'm not redoing it. Also, the neckline and the saddle shoulder, if you've done a saddle shoulder before, you know there's 10 million ends. There's 10 million ends, there's 10 million bits. I'm not redoing it. So she will be whatever she will be. And I'm nervous because this yarn's lovely. This color is so up my alley. Hopefully I can shove my huge head in here. Like I should be able to. Oh, will this problem ever end? So that's the Nephele test knit coming up, finishing up in September. But once I finish with the Lytham, then it'll be gung-ho on this one to finish it up because I have not knit on it for about a month. And then the next work in project that I haven't touched for ages is just some random socks I'm knitting. My bonus mom was supposed to come visit, but she hasn't picked a date yet, so there's no sense of urgency, so I've just put it away. I'm using leftovers. I'm using leftover sock yarn from other projects. This is Knitpicks Hawthorne Fingering and Jokamamo Textiles Platinum Sock, which is I think a 75-25 base. Yeah. In the colorway Lavender Field. though together, it doesn't bring out the lavender. Kind of, someone said it looks like Finding Nemo, and then they're right. But my mom wears these two beds, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I just need to knit up to the end of the foot and then weigh this yarn, because I actually don't think I have enough to do the toes for both. And I might just do a purple toe. We'll see. No sense of urgency in this at all. Once I sort of know when my mom's coming to visit, I'll pick it up. She has small feet, I have small feet, so our knits take no time at all. That is the sock I'm knitting, which is the French Connection sock. I've knit this multiple times before by Summer Lee in her sock project book, which I have. And then my last work in progress, I've been knitting. I've been working on this heaps. I've been very busy these past few weeks, and honestly a little out of it mentally. So I just haven't had the brain power to even read charts. But so I've been doing heaps of this. I only have a quarter left. Isn't she lovely? Sorry, I have an active needle in there. Isn't she lovely? This is my cross stitch of Lady with a Fan by Gustav Klimt, and I am using the pattern from The Art of the Stitch. This is my 2025. I can't believe I forgot what year it was. Do you see what I mean about brain power? My 2025 cross stitch, and I should be on track to finish it for sure. There's not much left at all, and I can't get over how beautiful it is. So those are my only whips. I've been very reasonable about what I'm casting on. I do have a big cast on plan next, so we'll hear about it in my acquisitions. Nope, yes. When I started this segment, I definitely said these are my acquisitions, didn't I? Acquisitions! So there's a couple of things you've already seen that were new to my stash. I bought the Bendigo Woolen Mills 10-ply luxury Boysenberry for my friend's gift knit, and I was provided the yarn for this cardigan in yarn support. The only thing I've bought is a sweater quantity of Rustic tweed linen. I was planning to pick this up in Bendigo, but once I knew I wasn't going to Bendigo, I just put an order for it. And this is for my husband's 2025 knit. I have finally talked that man into letting me knit him the Moby Sweater Man by Petite Knit. I love this jumper. And I think I have a dream of him and me having like a matching Moby sweater. Keep in mind, I'm gonna have to knit them for us to have matching jumpers. But anyways, and my husband usually, like, he will look at the pattern and like choose the yarn because I want him to pick something he likes. He's quite particular about what he likes wearing. And for some reason, not for some reason, the Moby sweater has small panels of moss stitch in the edges and the bottom of the sleeve. I don't know if it's single moss or double moss. Anyways, as a moss stitch hater, I think I've pointed out moss stitch to him so many times that he calls it the bumpy texture, and he doesn't like it. So every time I would show him the Moby sweater, he would be like, but the bumpy texture. However, I don't mind moss stitch if it's with cables. Like, if it's to make other patterns stand out, I don't mind. I just don't like a full moss stitch jumper. And so I was trying to explain to my husband, I was like, it's not the center point, it's just to fill in the edges. I mean, I could do it in stockinette, but he was like, it's not for me. Heartbroken. And then a few years later, we went to Sunspun, the yarn store in Melbourne, and they had a knitted sample of the Moby sweater. And I showed it to him and I was like, look, the texture doesn't look too bad, does it, in this? And he was like, no, that looks okay. But maybe show me this jumper again once you're ready to knit it. I'll see how I'm feeling. Or no, he said, why don't you knit yours first and then I'll see how I feel. But once this yarn came out, I knew it would be perfect. So I badgered that man and he gave in. Not in like a, oh fine, like he was like, actually no, I think you're right. If you think it'll look good, sure, why not? We can have matching jumpers. So I was like, see, let's. So I ordered the yarn immediately before he forgot. It's also because we went to Muji, is it a Japanese? It's a Japanese store in, I mean, we have them in Australia, but it must be a global. And they had a very Moby sweater dupe in this yarn. And I was like, that looks just like the jumper. And he was like, oh, I like the jumper, it looks nice. And I was like, so, have bought this yarn, Bendigo Woolen Mills 8-ply rustic tweed in the colorway linen to knit my husband a Moby sweater man before he changes his mind. I have some Bendigo in a baby blue for my version, though I kind of want it to be uber matchy, but I don't think he would ever wear it with me if it was that matchy. So let me finish his and see if I can talk him into that too. And then the last exciting thing, I bought a loom. I bought so I literally haven't even looked at this since I bought it because I have no brain power at the moment. And I don't want to try and figure out a machine and a new craft while I'm not feeling it. So this is girl, I know nothing about looms. This is the sample it loom, and I think it's a 40 or a 60 millimeter. I knew it when I bought it, okay? I looked it up when I bought it. I'm not that nuts, believe it or not. I couldn't tell you anything right now. I can't find any information. I think it's a 40 centimeter. No, I think it's 60. Either way, I bought a loom. I've been umming and eyeing about buying a loom, and then one of my friends was selling hers for a really, really good price because she was upsizing her loom, and it's a tabletop loom. It's actually perfect for what I want it for. And I've been umming and eyeing between weaving and whatchamacallit, spinning. However, I chose weaving because I can use some leftovers, and I have some lovely cotton from the Philippines that I want to make more hand towels with for my kitchen. And though I love the one that I knit, I don't know if I'll ever get around to knitting more, so I thought I could at least weave some and also make them for gifts or make people stuff with leftover yarn for scarves or gifts or whatever. So because I can use stuff I already have with the loom, I decided to go for weaving first, because with spinning I'd have to buy the raw material, and I'm gonna low buy anyways, and I don't have space for fleece. So keep your eyes peeled. On a future episode, I might have some weaving to show you guys. And that should be it. That's all I have to show you. I've had a pretty productive few months despite how my brain has not been functioning, but I'm okay, guys. I'm just, making light of stuff. There's nothing too serious going on. And I'm feeling much better and have lots of exciting projects in mind, and hopefully there's heaps of stuff to show you. What are you guys making? Have you guys tried the knitting for olive pure silk? What do you think about it, especially if you're in Australia? Like, what kind of weather do you think you wear it in? I mean, I'm interested to see how wearable it is in the warmer weather here for me. And if you went to Bendigo, hope you had fun and pop down what you bought. That should be it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll catch you next time. Bye.